During the recent House of Assembly session, a spirited debate unfolded over the Child Justice Amendment, bringing to light key questions about the roles of judges in lawmaking compared to that of legislators. In what some may consider as a controversial remark, Honorable Kenny Anthony strongly argued that the state has the right to pass laws that serve its citizens, citing the abolition of hanging as a punishment for murder as an example. His comments highlighted a larger discussion about balancing the power of the judiciary with the authority of the legislature to represent the will of the people.
We are extending powers of judges where that should not be the case. I want the right to be able to say what the sentence should be. Just like I want the right to be able to say you should hang for murder. I want that right. And the rules regarding the sentencing for murder is a classic case in point, you know. All those constitutions made provisions for persons to be hanged, all of them. But what has happened? The British judges, in furtherance of the objectives of the British government, decided that they will do away with hanging as a sentencing power.
Dr. Anthony also addressed the influence of the UK Privy Council in abolishing hanging as a form of punishment, noting that Caribbean territories subsequently followed its lead.
The Privy Council, who basically are comprised of judges who were legislators in the House of Lords in the UK, immediately took up the issue and imposed the requirements to do as best as they can to stop hanging in the Caribbean, because they saw it was part of their ideological remit to bring an end to hanging. That's why we have this problem. And if you go through the history of the cases, you will see every effort, every step of the way to whittle down, until they have now reached the point that they argue and say that hanging is inhumane punishment. It's a form of torture, and therefore is prohibited by the Westminster constitutions that you have. It's disallowed under your Bill of Rights. And of course, our judges are compelled to follow and obey the Privy Council, and so this has been the march.
Emphasizing the responsibilities of parliamentarians, Dr. Anthony cautioned about the potential consequences of the proposed amendment, which would essentially place the judge in the role of a legislator.
I just want to emphasize, Mr. Speaker, that we have to be very careful of the constant encroachment of the authority of this parliament, of the members of this parliament. The time is going to come when you're going to ask yourselves, what were you elected for and what are you supposed to do? I really feel that there is an issue. And I simply want to urge it, as much as I understand why this is necessary, but to say that the court may impose a sentence it deems appropriate is to put the judge in the place of a legislator, and in fact to allow the judge to tell you what the outcome should be. No wonder we have the kind of problems that we are having now, because people are not even respecting judges. And this society is imploding because, you see, judges are going in one direction and those who are entrusted to make laws for the country are going in a different direction.
Honorable Kenny Anthony's remarks underscore a critical concern about the balance of power between the judiciary and legislature. By cautioning against expanding judicial authority, he emphasizes the vital role of elected lawmakers in crafting laws that reflect the values and will of the people, rather than leaving such decisions to the courts. For Choice News Now, I am Darrell Liner.